bit prejudiced, but aren't they magnificent? Could I ever have imagined that as I held my precious blue-eyed little daughter in my arms, that almost 50 years later, I would have the privilege and honor of standing on the WWE Universe stage along with her sweet, beautiful daughters to induct her into the WWE Hall of Fame. This is very interesting for me because I got to wear a couple of hats in this journey, both as a mom and as a business leader. And although clearly mom came first, I'm going to share in reverse order how this all came about. Now, anyone's first job out of college can be daunting anyway. But when your bosses are your father, the chairman, and your mother, the CEO, it can be even a bit more complex, compounded by the fact that your brother was already a young executive and performing in the company. That same brother, I might add, who lifted her up over his head one day in our family room to body slam her onto the sofa, but instead he threw her over the sofa, having her hit the wall of glass French doors, which thankfully did not break. His first words to her were, "You're all right, you're not hurt." And her second words to her were, "Don't tell Dad." And she never did. It was important that Stephanie get a full but quick indoctrination in the company, since she had declared when she was much younger, long before she started college, that this is where she wanted to work and build a career. At first I was surprised by this because all the time she was growing up, she loved to sing and dance and perform. She even went to a drama performance camp in upstate New York for 3 weeks one summer. Little did I envision at that time that she was destined for a much bigger stage. The starting point was at WWE New York City sales office. What better place to learn customers, vendors, and business partners and how they perceived your product than to be on the ground making the sales pitch with professional salespeople. The next few months were in my office, keeping my schedule, appointments, and my routine. Now, this part was not her favorite. Sitting through finance briefings, budgets, contracts at first, and this really wasn't her cup of tea. More than once, I caught her nodding off. But she absorbed much more about the business and the intricacies of it than she even realized at the time. Then it was time to move into the creative and entertainment side of the company, keeping Vince's schedule, sitting in on talent development meetings, creative content, TV production, and even becoming a successful in-ring performer. And she took to all of this like a fish to water and was and is a natural. From my CEO perch, I watched as she quickly became a crowd favorite, whether she was a baby face or a heel. And she more than once told me how much more fun it was to be a heel. She connected with the audience. She had charisma, an innate sense of performance. And this is so important in this wonderful business, knowing when you have the audience right in your hand, when to pump them up, when to let things kind of chill, and when to bring home the big finish. But beyond all of that, she understood and loved this unique industry. She learned in a very short period of time how to market and promote the brand of WWE, how to network with executives to connect with other brands and with WWE for mutual success. And in 2020 and 2021, Forbes magazine named her as the #2 most influential chief marketing officer in the world and the most influential female CMO in the world. I repeat, in the world. She became, by invitation, both a prestigious Eisenhower Fellow and a Henry Crown Fellow. The Eisenhower program is designed to build global connections, and her specific assignments were in Singapore and Brazil. And she's now a part of a lifelong network of leaders worldwide. A Henry Crown Fellow is an entrepreneurial leader selected by the prestigious Aspen Institute, and it's aimed at successful young business leaders ready to give back to society. As the Chief Marketing Officer of WWE, she was clearly its face and most successful ambassador, with growing influence in the world's marketplace. She had grown from that young girl out of college, taking her place in a family business, to a seasoned and accomplished executive in a now New York Stock Exchange public and global company. And she rocked it. She had charted her own course, blazed her own trail, and was clearly making her own mark, eventually becoming the chairwoman and CEO of the company she loved, WWE. I left the company to pursue a somewhat different career, just as Stephanie was beginning to hit her stride. So I was able to watch as an outside observer and appreciate the very skilled executive that was quickly emerging. And yes, I admit to doing so fully beaming with a mother's pride. So now let me segue to the mom's perspective. There is nothing more rewarding to a mother than to hear other people praise her child. I have constantly heard things like, her smile lights up the room and makes you feel happy. And the reason for that is because the light of love that shines deep inside her. Many have told me Steph has the best hugs, and that's because she wraps her arms around you and hugs like she never wants to let you go. And as you've heard, Steph's laugh is contagious. And as you saw in the video, her laugh is distinctive, even when others are laughing too. It's loud with gusto that comes from deep in her belly. Many speak of her warmth and genuine compassion, and all of this is true. And I know that because I've had a window to watch her grow from a little girl with those qualities into one of the most spectacular women I know. And to round out my thoughts for tonight from a mom's perch is watching Stephanie herself as a mom. She married the love of her life, Paul Levesque. And they produced these three beautiful, sweet daughters. Steph is a loving, caring, nurturing, and all things good moms are. She shows her girls strength, perseverance, and tries with success most of the time to have them show tolerance for each other. But I confess that's best described as a work in progress. But she's also not afraid to show her vulnerability. They see her cry when she's sad or hurt, when something touches her heart. She shares when she's troubled, and they understand that life is not always perfect. And they can see her anger, sometimes flare, when a driver cuts her off on the road, or someone's not driving maybe at the right speed she thinks they should be, maybe not fast enough. Occasionally there might even be an expletive. So hopefully I've shared with you enough to know that Stephanie McMahon Levesque is so worthy and so deserving to join the elite members of the WWE Hall of Fame. And I couldn't be more proud to share the honor of inducting her with her daughters, Aurora, Murphy, and Vaughn. And as her mom, I'd like to say, Stephanie, you're one of the most remarkable women I know. You give me such joy and love. You are an inspiration, a wonderful daughter and friend, and I love you with all my heart. Congratulations on this amazing achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stephanie McMahon.